Hello and welcome to another video here on AI Predicts. In this one we've got Grok, ChatGPT and Gemini to predict the outcomes of all the Premier League Game Week 2 games. We've got scorelines, bets and most likely goal scorers for each game and a real life accumulator that you could win the money for. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so firstly, and feel free to skip this section, we've got last week's results, which weren't too good to be honest. So out of the 10 games, Grok got 3 results right. So that's just like whether the team won, drew or lost. It's not the actual scores. And then underneath that, we've got the actual scoreline. So if it got like that exactly right. So Grok got 3 results, 1 score right, 5 of the 10 bets came through, and 1 correct goal scorer in the whole game week. So out of 10 games, which is, you know, that's shocking. That's really bad from Grok there. ChatGPT kind of sort of kept face a little bit. So we've got 5 results, so 50% hit rate. Scores 2 out of 10. Now to get exact scores right, obviously is a lot harder than the actual results. So on AI Predicts, we say that anything sort of 20% or above is actually not too bad. We're obviously aiming for more than that, but if we're going to be realistic, football is very, very hard to predict. So anyway, it got 7 of the 10 bets right, which is 70% success rate. So that's a bit more like what we want to see. And 2 correct goal scorers. So those goal scorer numbers are pretty low. We definitely want a lot more from that. And then Gemini was better than Grok, but worse than ChatGPT. So 4 results right, 2 scores, 6 bets came in, and 3 out of 10 goal scorers correct. Now, I threw my own predictions in there to try and see if humans or AI are better, you know, which one's better at predicting football scores. And it looks like for now, it's definitely the AI, because I did absolutely shockingly. I got 3 results out of 10 and 0 scores exactly right. I mean, yeah, I've really let the humans down there. But anyway, on to the new week's fresh predictions. Okay, so the first game, we've got Crystal Palace, who are at home to Man City. Now, Grok and Gemini both think that Man City are going to win this 3-1, whereas ChatGPT thinks Man City will win 2-0. So I've asked this time for a low to mid risk bet. So we've had a lot of low risk bets in the channel previously if you've been subscribed. If not, I would appreciate if you're considering doing so now. But I've gone for something, you know, I was told to be a little bit more adventurous, have something a bit more interesting with a bit more of a potential returns in terms of money. So here we go. Grok's bet is Man City over 1.5 team goals and Erling Haaland to have a shot on target. So you can see there's kind of like a 2-legged sort of bet. So it's a little bit more spicy than just Man City over 1.5 goals, for example. Then ChatGPT has gone for Man City to have the most shots in the game, and over 1.5 goals in the game. And then Gemini's is Man City over 1.5 goals and Haaland to have a shot on target. So exactly the same as Grok's bet there. And then I've asked for the most likely goal scorer in this game. I mean, any game where Man City are involved, it will be the same answer. All 3 models will always pick Erling Haaland. So there's the first game. Next up, we've got Liverpool, who are at home to Nottingham Forest. Grok and ChatGPT agree this time, and that is on a 2-0 home win for Liverpool. And Gemini thinks Liverpool will win as well, but 3-1. Grok's low to mid risk bet is a Liverpool win and under 3.5 goals in the game. ChatGPT's is Liverpool to have the most shots in the game and for there to be over 1.5 goals. And Gemini's is Liverpool to win and for there to be over 2.5 goals in the game. Grok and Gemini's most likely goal scorer is Cody Gakpo, and ChatGPT is going with Alexander Isak. Moving on, we've got Bournemouth versus Everton. All 3 models are perfectly aligned on the result here, and they are calling that a 1-1 draw. Grok's low to mid risk bet is both teams to score and under 3.5 goals. ChatGPT's is simply under 3.5 goals, and Gemini's is both teams to score. So you can see there, Grok's combined ChatGPT and Gemini's bet made that a little bit more interesting. The most likely goal scorer, according to ChatGPT and Gemini, is Evan Nilsson, but Grok thinks that will be Marcus Tavernier. Then we have a battle between 2 newly promoted sides. We've got Coventry City, who are at home to Hull City. Grok and ChatGPT are predicting a 1-1 draw for this game, whereas Gemini thinks that Coventry edged this 2-1. Grok's bet is Coventry double chance and under 2.5 goals. ChatGPT's is Hull double chance and under 3.5 goals. And Gemini's is Coventry double chance and over 1.5 goals. So very similar bets there, but slightly different variations for each model. And then Grok and Gemini think that Ellis Sims is the most likely goal scorer in this game. ChatGPT disagrees, however, and is saying that that will be Ollie McBurney. Spurs versus Newcastle is next, and we've got Grok and ChatGPT agreeing on the result, which they are saying is will be a 2-1 win for Newcastle, and Gemini thinks that's going to end in a 2-2 draw. Grok's bet is both teams to score and Newcastle to have the most shots in the game. ChatGPT's bet is Newcastle double chance and for there to be over 1.5 goals in the game. And Gemini's bet is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in the game. Grok and Gemini both think that Johan Visser or Wisser, let me know in the comments if it's Visser or Wisser, I'm pretty sure it's Wisser, but I'm not sure, will be the most likely goal scorer. And ChatGPT thinks that that will be Nick Voltemada. Next up, we've got Chelsea, who are at home to Brighton, two teams that started very well in an attacking sense, so should be a really interesting game this. All three models, however, are predicting the same result, which is a 2-1 win for Chelsea. Grok's bet is over 2.5 goals in the game and Cole Palmer to have a shot on target. ChatGPT's is Chelsea double chance and over 1.5 goals in the game. And Gemini's bet is Chelsea to have over 1.5 goals and for Cole Palmer to have a shot on target. Grok and Gemini both agree that Cole Palmer is the most likely goal scorer in this game, and ChatGPT thinks that that is going to be João Pedro. Moving on, we've got Leeds, who are at home to Brentford, and once more we've got a full alignment here on the results, which is being agreed by all three models as a 1-1 draw. Then Grok's bet is both teams to score and under 3.5 goals. ChatGPT's is simply just under 3.5 goals in the game, and Gemini's is Brentford double chance. So this appears to be one that the AI are not really willing to stick their neck out on. There's a bit of an unpredictable game, fair enough. Grok and ChatGPT agree that Igor Thiago is the most likely goal scorer in this game, but Gemini thinks that that is going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Then we've got Sunderland versus Fulham, Sunderland being at home. Grok is predicting a 1-0 win for Fulham. ChatGPT thinks that's going to end in a 1-1 draw, and Gemini thinks that Fulham are going to win that 2-1. Grok's low to mid-risk bet is Fulham double chance and under 2.5 goals in the game. ChatGPT's is simply under 3.5 goals in the game. And Gemini's is Fulham double chance and over 1.5 goals in the game. We've got a different most likely goal scorer for each AI model here. So Grok says Joshua King, ChatGPT says Brian Brobbey, and Gemini says new Fulham striker Gonzalo Garcia. Right, on to the penultimate game. We've got Man United, who are looking to improve on their first game week nightmare against Ipswich Town. It is at Old Trafford, so Grok is predicting a 2-0 win for Man United. ChatGPT a 2-1 win for Man United, and Gemini a 3-0 win for Man United. So yeah, all three models looking at a Man United bounce back here, which they really do need, to be fair. Grok's bet is Man United to win and for there to be under 3.5 goals in the game. ChatGPT's bet is Man United to have the most passes and shots, which is a bit of an interesting one. And then Gemini's bet is Man United to win and Ipswich to have under 1.5 goals in the game, even though it's predicted Ipswich to have 0. So I imagine it's gone for more of the low risk bet than the mid risk bet here. Grok and ChatGPT agree that the most likely goal scorer in this game is Bruno Fernandes, but Gemini thinks that's going to be Mateus Cunha. And the last game of the game week, which I think is the most intriguing one actually, we've got Arsenal, who are at home to Aston Villa. Oh no, so that's wrong. I've put the badges in the wrong order. It's Aston Villa at home and Arsenal away. Apologies for that. Grok and ChatGPT both think that Arsenal are going to win 2-0, and Gemini thinks Arsenal are going to win 2-1. Grok's bet is an Arsenal win and under 3.5 goals in the game. ChatGPT's bet is under 3.5 goals in the game and Arsenal to have the most passes. And Gemini's bet is Arsenal double chance and Saka to have a shot on target. Grok and Gemini both think that Bukayo Saka is the most likely goal scorer in that game, but ChatGPT is going for number 9, Victor Gyökeres. Okay, so there are all the full predictions from the AI. Now we're going to move on to the human prediction to see if we can sort of beat AI, basically. We lost last week. It was a tough week. Game week 1 is always tough. You've got the least data out of any other game, so you know, I'm going to give myself that excuse. Let's see if we can improve and beat the AI this week. So we can see up here the Man City versus Crystal Palace game. Obviously across the board, Man City have been predicted to win, and I think that does make a lot of sense. Only thing is, I wasn't very impressed with Man City. I thought Bournemouth could have put them to a sword a little bit more, and then, you know, Ryan Shirky coming on and sort of pulling a few strings kind of got them out of that mess a little bit, because they didn't look very good. They looked a bit rusty, they looked a little bit switched off, maybe slightly fatigued, because they had a lot of players in the World Cup, although, you know, I don't think that's a very good excuse, to be honest. They're all professional football players, and a lot of top teams had players in the World Cup. I don't think that really sort of counts. And Crystal Palace are at home, and as far as I can remember, let me know in the comments if I'm like talking rubbish here, but Crystal Palace normally give Man City quite a tough time. Now I know they've lost a few important players, they've lost their manager, but I think it's one of those games where form slightly goes out the window a little bit, and this is kind of about vibe. So in talking about vibe, this is the human element of it, right? I don't want to be too analytical because then I might as well just be an AI. So I'm going to go with human sort of vibe and just feeling a little bit. And I think that this is going to end in a 1-1 draw, this game. I've not been very impressed with Man City. Obviously, Crystal Palace didn't look great, but they've still got a decent sort of spine and structure and scaffolding of a team there. And they're at home. I think they can give Man City a bit of trouble here. So yeah, I'm going for 1-1 there. Liverpool v Nottingham. All three models have picked a Liverpool win, and I think that does make sense. Although I think Forest, I mean, yeah, it's hard to say because they looked good against Leeds, but then they did concede that late goal, and then they got kind of soundly beaten yesterday in the EFL Cup by Leeds again. I thought apart from those goals that went in, which sounds silly, they do look quite resolute and quite strong defensively. So I don't know. I don't think they'll concede 3, possibly 2, but I would say that this is going to be like a 0-0 up until fairly late, and then Liverpool nick it fairly late on. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 Liverpool win here. Then we've got Bournemouth versus Everton. All three models went for a 1-1 draw in this game. Fair enough. I think obviously Everton had a better start than Bournemouth, but Bournemouth were playing Man City, so it's kind of fair enough. Bournemouth have also lost their main centre-back. They lost a couple of other players. I can't remember who, but they have kept enough for it to be, you know, for them to still be sort of recognisable from what they were last season. They lost their manager, of course, that was it, Iraola. I think Bournemouth look really good. They still look good. They've still got like a cohesive, galvanised unit of a team. And I was quite impressed with them against Man City, even though it was mostly Man City lacking sort of, you know, being impressive. So I think Bournemouth are going to win this one, and I think they're going to win it fairly, I wouldn't say comfortably, but I think they'll score a couple of goals here. I think I'm going to go for a 3-1 Bournemouth win, seeing as they are at home as well. Then we've got Coventry versus Hull. Not too familiar with either of these teams. Obviously, Coventry got well beaten by Arsenal, who are the champions. They didn't look good, but what do you expect? Hull did, however, break expectations. Everyone thought they were going to lose to Man United. Man United didn't really turn up. Hull looked great, like they were up for it. They were at home. The crowd was really behind them, and they beat. So, you know, it's two sides of the coin here, I think. One team that didn't look very good, one team that looked better than we thought. So, yeah, I don't know. Coventry just didn't look like they had the quality to really even have a go at Arsenal. And I think Hull will be able to do that against teams. They just look like they got a bit more spirit about them. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for a 1-0 Hull win, even though they are away. I just think they've impressed me so far. Then we've got Spurs versus Newcastle. We've got a draw and 2 Newcastle wins predicted here. I think I'm going to go against that, and again, you know, this is sort of like the human sort of vibe. I think Spurs are going to win this for some reason. I don't know. You know, they look terrible. They look just like they did last season, but I just think with a new manager and almost a full team of new players, it has to improve a little bit, right? And Newcastle, they've lost, you know, their manager. They've lost their 5 best players over the last 2 seasons. So surely, on paper, and I know football's played on grass, not paper, but on paper, Spurs have got a much better squad than Newcastle. They've got a more experienced manager in the Premier League. And yeah, I guess that after the first game week, that's a bit of a silly thing to do. But again, like I said, I'm not trying to be too analytical, too much like AI. We're trying to kind of oppose their bets and see if we can use a different methodology to beat them and be more accurate than them. So I'm going for a 2-1 Spurs win here. Then we've got Chelsea v Brighton. All 3 models are predicting a 2-1 win for Chelsea. I think Brighton look really strong so far. Chelsea do as well, but defensively they look leaky. That's their clear weak spot. Robert Sanchez in goal. I mean, I don't know how he's still managing to stay in this team. He's absolutely stealing a living here at Chelsea. He's just not good enough to be their goalkeeper. That sounds harsh, but it's just true. Like, if you watch football and you see him, that first goal that was scored by Josh King off the right wing, I don't know how Sanchez has not saved that. That was a really, really bad mistake to make on game week 1. And he made a litany of other mistakes during the game that just weren't particularly punished all that harshly. Yeah, they're sent, like, obviously Lacroix looks good, but the rest of their backline, not impressed at all. So I see Brighton scoring a couple of goals here, but same as Chelsea. Their front 3, Rodgers, Palmer and João Pedro is really, really good, really talented. So I'm going to go for a high scoring draw here. Probably I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw for this one. Then we've got Leeds versus Brentford. All three models aligned again and predicted a 1-1 draw. I've been very impressed with Leeds. They beat Nottingham twice already, and I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought Nottingham were really going to kick on and have a good season. Obviously, they still can, but more so than Leeds. I thought they were a better team. I thought they'd have their number a little bit. I was wrong about that, so I'm going to get behind Leeds for this one. They are at home at Elland Road, so I reckon, yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Leeds here. Then we move on to Sunderland versus Fulham. We've got a 1-1 draw predicted and 2 predictions for a Fulham win. I think this one, it's sort of got 1-1 draw written all over it a little bit, to be honest. Neither team particularly inspiring going forward or that solid anymore. I think Sunderland obviously had a great season last season, but I think that is going to take a big downturn this year, especially with their extra games added on. I haven't seen them do too much business in the transfer market as well, so I don't know how that squad will cope with the extra games. And yeah, they just look like maybe they've been figured out a little bit. They've got a whole season of data on them now. We kind of know their game a little bit. So yeah, I'm going for a 1-1 draw for that one. Then we've got Man United v Ipswich. Very interesting that they lost obviously so badly to Hull. It wasn't just the 2-0 defeat, it was the performance, it was the eye test that every single player on Man United's team failed, pretty much all of them. I mean, Maguire, Luke Shaw being in that team still, they've been part of the problem for a long time. I think they just need rid, and they just need to buy sensibly. Do you know what I mean? I think Andre Santos and Tielemans, typical Man United signings, right? The players are good, but I don't think they're the right type of player that can carry Man United forward. Man United need players like Amad Diallo. Benjamin Sesko is a great signing. Not these sort of established ones that are going to cost 60, 70 million minimum, and they're just not having an impact. We've seen it over the years. Alexis Sanchez, Di Maria, all of them were great signings at the time, but none of them were able to actually do anything. Casemiro's another one. Okay, they won an FA Cup with him, but you see what I'm saying. All that said, the AI models are still predicting a Man United win here. They are at home. I said in the last video, in the Gameweek 1 video, that Hull's stadium is new to Man United. They're not used to that. They're not used to the crowd. They're not used to how the team sets up. So you can kind of give them a little bit of slack there, but they sort of came out the traps really fast, unexpectedly, and Man United happened to be that victim. That could have been Chelsea, it could have been Liverpool. We'd have a slightly different conversation. But the fact that it was Man United and they've been having dodgy seasons after dodgy seasons raised a lot more of an eyebrow, I'd say. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. I think Ipswich have had a great start. I think they're really up. They look really up for it. Their signing of Julio Enciso is a great sign. I think that's fantastic. I actually wasn't aware he was playing for them until I saw him, while I was watching the game. So both defences not great, but attack going forward, I think this should be a really open game. And it's been slightly boring. I mean, especially the AI models. Look at all the 1-1s here and 2-1s. It's a little bit boring. So I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to spice it up a little bit. I'm going to go for a 4-2 Man United win here. Okay. And then the last game, we've got Aston Villa at home to Arsenal. All three models think that Arsenal are going to win, and I am inclined to agree with them. Aston Villa have had a terrible start. They've let all their best players go. Ezri Konsa, Yuri Tielemans, Morgan Rogers, and now it looks like Ollie Watkins is trying to force a move out as well. So they're really a little bit threadbare now, bit bare bones squad. And Arsenal are just the opposite, aren't they? They've got two starting 11s that could probably win the Premier League. A really, really deep squad. I don't see how Aston Villa can beat Arsenal, especially in this moment in time, in this sort of situation they're in. So I'm going to agree with Grok and ChatGPT on this one. I think Arsenal win this nice and comfortable 2-0. Okay, and the final section, if you've watched up to this point, you're now going to get the clue on how to win some of that money for the accumulator we're putting on. So what I've done is I've put £1 on a 10-fold accumulator that's based on the predictions made that we've just sort of gone through from the AI. So you can see here, right, we've got the first game, we've got Man City over 1.5 goals, most shots in the game, Man City, and Erling Haaland to have 1 shot on target. So that's kind of like an amalgamation from ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini sort of suggested bets. So we're kind of doing a little bit of an average of that and trying to see what makes the most sense within an accumulator. Then we've got Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. Sorry, I haven't actually mentioned. I'm fairly new to YouTube. I've been doing it less than a year, so forgive me. How you enter the sort of pool to win some of that money, right? So all you got to do is comment on this video. It can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be with positive or to do with the bet. It can be an insult. It can be whatever you want. All you've got to do is comment on this video, and that puts you in the sort of prize draw to win some of the money if this accumulator does come in. And we'll probably cap it at about 3 or 4 viewers, so it'll just be picked at random. It's not first come first served, so just get your comment in, and that's sort of your chance at winning a little bit of money if the accumulator comes in. So now we can go back onto the Liverpool game. We've got another mini bet builder. We've got Liverpool to win, Liverpool to have the most shots, and Alexander Isak and Cody Gakpo to at least have 1 shot. That's not on target, just any shot. Then we've got Bournemouth versus Everton. We've just gone for both teams to score and under 3.5 goals in the game. I think they all picked a draw. I think maybe they all picked a 1-1 draw. So we weren't really certain on sort of scorers or who was going to win or double chances or anything. So gone for a fairly simple one there. Even simpler still, we've gone for, in the Coventry whole game, just Coventry double chance, a Coventry or win or a draw. I think that's fair enough. It's a bit of an unknown game. We've not got much data on Coventry and Hull. If you're a Premier League fan anyway, if you're a Championship viewer, then of course you have plenty of data, and you could probably do a bit of a better bet than that yourself. Right, then the next game is Tottenham versus Newcastle. We've got Newcastle for the double chance and for there to be over 1.5 goals in the game. And then for Chelsea, we've got over 2.5 goals in the game and Cole Palmer to have at least 1 shot on target. Then for Leeds versus Brentford, we've gone for under 3.5 goals in the game and Igor Thiago and Dominic Calvert-Lewin to have a shot on target, at least 1 each. Then for Fulham versus Sunderland, we've got the Fulham double chance and under 3.5 goals in the game. For Man United versus Ipswich, we've got Man United to have the most shots and Bruno Fernandes to have at least 1 shot on target. And finally, for the Arsenal versus Aston Villa game, we've got Arsenal to win, Bukayo Saka and Victor Gyökeres to have a shot each, and for Arsenal to have the most corners in the game. Now, we've put a £1 stake on that. Obviously, as the channel hopefully makes more money in the future, we'll do bigger giveaways, bigger bets and that kind of thing. We want to give us an opportunity to win loads of money if we possibly can and keep it a bit more exciting. So at the moment we're doing £1 10-fold accumulators, unfortunately, but hopefully if the channel grows and you can be a part of that, we'll do much bigger prizes. So that's going to potentially return £1,141.94. I don't think that's too bad. Like, right, obviously for all 10 to come in is pretty unlikely, or very unlikely, but as individual bets, I think they all make their own sort of level of sense, and I think none of them really stand out as, oh, we want to remove that. That's gonna mess up the accumulator. So I think we've done fairly well there overall. Okay, and that is pretty much the end of the video. I just want to quickly say, if you watched up to this point, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot for a small channel like me. And while you're here, if I could just ask you to subscribe to the channel and like the video, then I'd be very grateful for that as well. But in any event, thank you so much for watching. Take it easy, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.